Okay, this is the recording for much Peddlers Patreon thing, Lindsey M Dillon stuff. But we're recording it this time.
Yeah! Okay. Alright. So
It's gonna be a two-parter.
This is I'm nervous now.
Because they can see our physical.
They can see I literally put on makeup today.
They can see our third dimension. Did you?
I did.
I don't notice it at all.
I did because I'm like, if I'm gonna be on camera, I don't know.
There's some look, just doesn't even matter what gender you are. Makeup is an art project that is everlasting on your face. Mm-hmm. And some of us are not good at art.
I mean, that's why you do that. That's why you learn how to do it. No one starts out knowing how to. I remember like my mom. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. Point being.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to be talking about Patreon, and we're doing sort of a two-parter.
Yeah.
Partially because, not gonna lie, Donte doesn't have enough space on his camera. So
I have like 30-something minutes left of my camera. The rest of it's YouTube videos.
Yeah. We're gonna split this baby up. But one of the things that's exciting, and
like
if you're
King Solomon.
like, oh no, Donte! Oh my God. Okay, so what we're doing differently this time, though, which is exciting, which is why I'm like, is that we're actually we're video recording. We're videoing it right now.
Yeah.
So you audio folks, nothing will sound different, hopefully, other than the level of nervousness in my voice.
So we have like Spotify, iTunes, wherever you find your podcasts. Mm-hmm. But we're putting this on YouTube. So if you want to listen to the other episodes that are not physically recorded on YouTube,
yes,
you can go find Mud Peddlers over there.
Yes, and basically what I'm gonna do, because I've been procrastinating on setting up a YouTube for myself and like doing educational videos like you do, Donte, I'm basically gonna set up a YouTube channel that's Lindsey M Dillon, but there will be a playlist within the Lindsey M Dillon channel
with us in there
with the Mud Peddlers channel, and I'm starting out with that because baby steps.
Okay, baby steps.
And then eventually I will add more of my own videos, but for now this is an easy way to easier of degrees of easy to set this up.
OnlyFans is coming soon, guys.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna be thrown with my feet. I won't be.
There is an OnlyFans of a potter who I forgot, I don't know what her name, I don't sub to that, but she just gets naked and destroys pots.
I mean, oh my God!
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
I know who she's talking about!
Yeah.
I mean, I know who you're talking about. She's awesome!
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Her personality seems awesome.
Hell yeah.
Because I'm like, it takes a lot of courage to do that.
It does.
Because I won't.
If there was less...
There was less fat on my body and my elephant was way bigger.
I'm sure your elephant's fine.
No, it's good. But if I'm going to show it, it needs to be a gargantuan.
Oh God. Anyway, Patreon. So, this is going to be a two-part episode.
Yes.
And the first part is going to be me basically talking to you, Donte, about your Patreon, because I have been needing to set one up for ages, and I've been meaning to talk to you about this. Well, I mean, we've talked off camera about it, but now we're basically documenting it.
We've talked off camera a bunch of times. The way I set my Patreon up was like a learning process, so this part's going to be very Donte heavy. I apologize for those of you who watch my content but don't seem to like me. I don't know what to tell you. Just click off. But at the same time, the second part's going to be Lindsey heavy. This part is more from my experience with Patreon and my own setting up and all that.
Yeah. Okay, so why don't we start out with the basics?
Yeah.
When did you start your Patreon?
I'm not really sure. Probably at least 3 years ago, I would say. It was right after I started a YouTube channel. One of my first supporters, Deborah, decided to tell me about Patreon, and she was like, yeah, it's a place where we can personally support you. It's like that coffee app. You buy artist coffee, but the only difference is that we just give you a tiny bit a month, and that helps you make more art. And I was like, whatever, I'll try it. Luckily for me, it caught on enough to where I could support myself. And now it's gotten to a point where I can buy a camera and make the quality of the channel better. And if I ever need my kiln repaired, that money is there. I usually let it sit, but it's a giant help. So I would say about 3 years ago, and it was honestly kind of on a whim.
Okay.
If I'm being real with you.
Okay, so you kind of started it on a whim. How did you decide what your rewards were going to be? How many tiers you're going to have?
So I looked at other people's Patreons list, especially for YouTubers, and I started to think about, so what is my subscriber going to get, or at least my Patreon subscriber going to get, for the amount of money they're paying or the amount of support they're giving me? And so I decided to start it at a $2 range. I like to make them. I think they're funny. All right, I think they're funny.
Not gonna lie, I looked yours up recently.
Yeah.
Because I was again starting to try to hone in what mine are gonna be.
Right.
And I'm like, Donte, you're funny.
I thought it was funny. Some people won't think it's funny, but the lowest scale is $2, $2 a month. Is that one's called Mom, I Like His Videos.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm not throwing money straight at him like a bunch of, I just like his videos and he helps me in class and like, I like his videos, you know? And the $5 one is called Art Collector, where I have a list of like 200 people and every single month I take 4 or 5 people and I send some of my own personal pottery that I made, mostly functional ware, out to their houses. Because I have all their addresses.
Yeah.
They can opt out. The only flaw with that is that it's usually in America. So if you're like in Australia or Germany, it says at the bottom, like, I just can't send you anything.
Yeah.
That causes problems later on, but they're not so big that I can't create a contingency plan for it.
What do you mean it creates problems? Like,
Some people just straight up won't, like, I'm trying to be nice about it. Some people just straight up won't read it. And then a year later, they're like, I never got anything. What? This is a shit. Like, they'll not yell at me, but they'll be like, what the F? And I'm like, well, you live in Australia. And it costs like $60 to send you a teacup, plus the time and labor and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
it's not really.
You also support me for like $5 a month, and I'm not saying it's not valuable, but that if I did that for everyone, it just wouldn't. I would be bankrupt.
Yeah.
So, and I also can't send out packages all at the same time for the same reason, because it does cost money to send them out. So some people just straight up don't read it. My next tier is called Me First, where if any of my patrons want a commission or they want something very specific or they want to request a video, they can very easily do that, and I will usually give them videos before the videos are actually out on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
They get videos a week or like 3 days in advance before normal YouTube viewers see it.
And what monetary value is that third tier?
It's $10.
Okay, so you got a 2, a 5, and then so at the $10 level is when people get early access to the YouTube videos.
Yes.
And I'm curious for commissions, is it like a guarantee that they will get their commission done? Because like I've thought about doing something like that before, but I'm also like, I don't want to guarantee that I'm going to do a commission for someone and then have it be like this huge project that I don't actually want to do.
Well, I usually have a conversation with them about like the logistics of what we're doing, because some people are like, I want a 2-foot pot, and I'm like, it's not happening.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's still the normal steps of a commission. The only difference is that they get to be in line first. So if I have a list of commissions, the Me First tier goes, you get to be at the top of that list. I'm gonna shove other people's commissions to the side because you support me as a creator.
Okay.
You support me as a person. So if you want a set of mugs, guess who stuff I'm doing first. And you get early access to some videos. The $20 tier is like...
Wait, actually, quick question.
Yeah.
For the commissions as well, do you, like, how many commissions do you do a month? Like, is it like every month you'll do a commission, or is it every couple of months? Because again, like...
I get about one a month.
Okay.
And they're pretty understanding about my time constraints. So I have one person who consistently wants gourds. Oh. Because he likes my gourds, my double hump Japanese gourds. And every month I'm just like, I have it ready for you, and I'll show it to him. I'll give him pictures, but I'll be like, my kiln load is not ready for another 2 weeks. So I usually tell him, your commission's going to be ready in like 2 months max. And he goes, that's fine. You're one of the few potters that make gourds, so yeah. I have the $20 tier. The $20 tier is you can have full-blown conversations with me about not anything, but mostly pottery related. So if you're like, hey, I need help with this one specific thing, you get a one-on-one tutor session with me.
Oh, okay. How long is the tutor session?
It's kind of as much as you need, to be honest.
Okay.
If someone's supporting me for that amount every month, like that's like half a tank of gas for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like, hey, I need help with this one specific thing. You message me. I check my messages every 2 to 3 days. I get on there and I help you as much as I can.
So they send you a message on Patreon.
On Patreon.
Okay.
People send me messages on Instagram and Twitter, but I put way less effort into those because I get like 20 of those a day.
Yeah.
So at this point, but if someone's really supporting me on a certain level, I go, you actually pay for my time.
Okay.
That is, you are a customer at that point.
Okay. That's conceivably pretty cheap though, because if they're asking for like an hour, $20 for an hour of your time is real cheap. We're thinking about like what a one-on-one session
$20 an hour. That's more than I get paid for real at my 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, but like thinking about what people pay for workshops, I don't know. Just throwing that out there. That's pretty. I'm just like,
there is a limit.
Okay. Has there ever been a situation where you've had to tell someone like, hey, like you kind of like reach your limit? Because that's one of the other things that, always tends to stop me when I think about different like rewards for tiers. Is like, okay, what is the like potentially illogical but logical conclusion of someone using this service?
The spaces where they can take advantage.
Yeah. Not that I'm like thinking everyone's gonna take advantage of me, but more like So
for me, it's less that I've had trouble with people taking advantage of that time slot and being like, because I've told people, I've messaged them, been like, hey, at this time, at this date, I'm going to message you. If you're here, I will help you as much as I can. I'll send you videos as much as I can, resources. And usually their issues are fairly easy to figure out.
Okay.
If they're more complicated, I just spend more time with them. That being said, I have had a very few amount of people who will pay that tier, and then, I think I've talked to you about this, they're like, we're best friends now.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, we're working on teacups.
Oh, I didn't realize it was an issue, because I know you told me that that's been kind of a thing with like your Instagram.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that was also something with Patreon. So is there...
There's been like two... I'm not going to drop their names. There's been like two people, and what they do is they try it on Instagram, and then I go, I'm sorry, I just don't have the time right now.
Yeah.
I have to... And then they go, okay, so I'll just pay for your time.
Oh,
and that's their next hurdle, is going, I paid for your time. I'm paying you to be my friend. Like, you now have to talk to me because I gave you money. I, like, own you a little bit.
Okay. So you feel comfortable trading, like, the time for your services as an educator.
Yes.
But, okay. So that's interesting, because I could almost see it not being weird that, like, or rather, I could see it being a setup. Not that, and again, like, I trust that you are able to ascertain the kind of vibe and, like, figure out what your own comfort levels are.
I usually vibe it out.
Yeah, but I could potentially see how it's, like, there could be a tier where it's kind of like, like you do get priority on conversation. You do get priority on like answering messages. Like
that's just being a Patreon, period, really.
Okay.
If you're a patron, if you're a patron at all, like period, I check patron messages first. I check them before Instagram messages. The issue is I have like almost 9K on Instagram, so and I have way less Patreon subscribers. So even though I check Patreon every 2 days or so, Instagram just has more messages, period.
Yeah, yeah.
So even though they get priority, there's less of a need to go there. That's and then I have one more tier. One person figured out how to make a $50 tier, and I have no idea how they did it. Her name is Linda, and she gave more than I set the bar for every month. I have no idea how she did it.
Wow. Wait. So what did she do, and what did you? So you have a $50. Okay. So
I have a $30 tier, and that's it.
$30.
I feel bad going above $30 a month.
Okay. So just a quick review. You've got a $2 tier, which gives
Mom,
you...
I like his videos.
And that gives you access to what?
That just gives you... Firstly, I give you a shout out on YouTube.
Okay.
Secondly, I give you... it's like weekly pictures.
Okay.
So if I'm working on something new, if I want to create a little blog that's not on my actual website, my earthnationceramics.com website, then they get that.
Okay.
Oh, also to boot, I have like 17 private videos that anybody over the $5 tier gets.
Oh,
They have their own private playlist, so they get like a whole playlist of YouTube videos that are not accessible to normal people.
Okay, so...
Y'all get a lot of shit now that
I mean, it's good. It's good to kind of...
I'm gonna ground you.
Okay, so that's the $2 tier. $2 tier is... Jesus, you literally just
$2 tier is Mom, I like his videos.
Okay.
And you get a shout out. And you also get pictures that most people don't get to see.
Okay.
Or at least you get them first. So if I get a picture, I go, you get it first, and then Instagram, Twitter gets it.
Okay. $5 tier is everything on the $2 tier plus...
Plus you get to be put on a list.
Okay.
And that list, sooner or later, I will send something to your house.
Okay.
Sometimes it's like 2 months. Sometimes it's like 5. Depends on how big the list is. Because I can't do everybody at once.
Yeah. Okay, so
I
wanna come back to that, but I want to finish with our quick review first, because I'm curious about how you implement that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a $5 tier. $10 tier is everything in the previous tiers plus early access to YouTube videos, a private playlist, and
commissions. You get to be first on commissions.
First on commissions.
$10 a month is like my breaking line for you're giving. It's really like 2 cups of coffee every month if you're getting fancy coffee, I guess. But that is still, to me, that's like, wow, you decided to support me for $10 a month. That's kind of cool of you. So I'm gonna give you extra videos. You get the shout out. You get put on the art collector list. And you also get priority on commissions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the $20 tier is access to your like one-on-one tutoring time.
I pay way more attention to your messages over most other people's messages.
Okay. And then the $30 tier.
The $30 tier is I skip everybody in the art collector line, and after 2 months, because I had a bit of a problem with the 1 month people, you get something immediately. And I try and choose something nice. So instead of being put on a list where you wait months and months and months to get something from me, you just get something immediately. I will say though,
like upon the first,
the second.
Oh, okay, so they have to they have to subscribe for 2 months. So they're basically they give $60 and then they get a mug.
Yes, including everything else that we named on the other tiers. They get essentially everything. They just get to skip the line for something.
Okay.
Granted, you could easily just buy something on my website.
Yeah.
For cheaper, because my stuff is not expensive. But that just allows you to skip the line and support me.
Yeah. Okay, so what was the problem that you were running into with your monthly people at the $5 level that made you develop the $30 level?
So the problem that I was running into with the $5 level is that people just straight up wouldn't read the instructions.
Okay.
Or let's say 20 people at a time signed up to that tier, which is very rare. I don't push my Patreon that much, to be honest with you. I put like a little tag at the end of every YouTube video, but I don't really speak about it.
Yeah.
I've spoken about it on this episode more than I've spoken about it in like a year publicly.
Well, this is good. It'll let people know that you've got going.
So they would be like, people would sign up for it and be like, where's my stuff? Like immediately. And I would have to reiterate, did you read the tier or did you just see the first sentence and like...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So if
those people wanted it fast. And so like, fine, I'll make you a fast tier then. It's going to cost you more, but I'll make you a fast tier.
Okay.
And the $30 tier had to be revised because what people would do is I would see their name, I'd see them sign up, I'd immediately send their stuff because I want it to be expedient.
Yeah.
And then they would get their stuff and be like, I guess I don't have to pay you anymore. And they would drop. So I just made something and sent it to you for $30.
Yeah, and that's
and that's very low for a handcrafted ceramicist.
Yeah.
That's like I gave you something for free. That was the amount it took to make it.
Yeah.
So I had to make 2 months.
So when you send out your items to your $5 tier, do you? Since we've talked about this, I know the answer, but I'm gonna ask you anyway for the listeners.
Yeah.
So do you do it randomly, or how do you decide who gets of the folks who are in your $5 tier? A, how do you decide how many mugs to send out every month, and B, how do you decide like who gets it?
So I have a list of people. Every time you're a patron, I write down your name in this big book. I think you've seen it, the leather book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I write down your name. And then if you stop being a supporter for any reason, usually people don't leave. Their credit card company thinks it's fraud, or their credit card will expire, or their card in general will expire, and it'll just cancel it by themselves.
How do you get a notification when people stop subscribing?
When people stop supporting, I suppose. Or change. It says like has deleted their subscription.
Okay, so you don't have to do anything particular. You don't have to go in and be like, okay, is everyone still on this list? Like it doesn't take a lot of effort to maintain that list that you have.
What happens on Patreon is I can put your name in a search bar for active supporters, and I can say active, inactive, declined, XYZ.
Gotcha.
And if I type your name and it's not there and it's not under the active sheet, I go, you're not getting something.
Yeah. But you don't have to do that necessarily every month with every name because you get a notification if somebody changes. Okay.
I mean, sometimes I do anyway, but you don't have to.
Just to double check. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you write down everybody's name in your list.
Yep.
And then...
Yeah.
And then, well, how do you decide?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I was like, you got it. Yeah. Go on.
Cool. Okay. So then, how do you decide how many to send out every month?
I usually do between 4 and 5. Some of my patrons have been staunch defenders of mine, being like, no, you should do one a month. It should be one. It's your time and your money. But my brain goes, dude, at one point I had like 200 patrons. You know, like I'm trying to get through this list.
Yeah.
And I had a huge book. And so if I have 200 patrons and I send out one a month, that's 200 months. That's a long time. So my brain goes, how can I make that faster? So I just send out 4 or 5 packages every single month. It's usually 5. If it's 4, that's my brain going, I want to make better stuff for them the next month. A lot of them get a lot of experiments. Some of them don't like that. Some of them love it. Some of them are like, I have this glaze that you made from an experiment that you'll never make again. This is super rare.
Cool. Oh, okay.
And I'll put like a little note in there, like, I'm never gonna make this glaze again. Some of them, one time I sent somebody like bowls that were in the shape of hearts.
Oh.
And he was like, I just hate this.
Oh.
And I was like, no problem, I'll send you another set. Send you something else. I sent him something else. I was like, dude, you support me for like $20 a month.
Oh,
I can
nice.
very
Okay.
easily just send you, and he loved that.
Huh.
I think another. I've only had two I've only had two non-satisfactory messages of people who are like, I didn't like what you sent me for my thing. Can I have something else? And I go, yep, no problem. And I send it to them.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay, so but that doesn't happen very often.
No,
'Cause that
everybody
seems-
gets one.
Okay, I was gonna say because that seems like that could be something that could potentially be problematic if you have like everyone asking.
And they
for
have to
something
have
different
like
every
a
month.
real. They have to have like a reason. They can't just be
Yeah.
like, I just don't like this.
Nah.
Want more. You know, and I'm like, okay. Sometimes I'll pull the old, okay, well send it back to me and I'll give you something else. And sometimes they're like, I don't want to send it back, and I'm like, all right, so I'm not playing this game with you. It's not happening. I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're not slick.
Yeah. Okay. So, and do you choose those people randomly, or do you have a list and your list is like in order of patron and you send it out one at a time, like in groups of like 5?
Yes, but it's time gated. So like if 20 people sign up, the first 5 of those 20 get something, and then the next 5, and then the next 5, month per month.
Okay. So
I have to get through. Like Patreon made it very clear to me, you have to get through the entire list. You can't, because if you say it's random and you say I might choose you, it's gambling.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
But Patreon's been like, if you can do it in groups and promise that you'll get through everybody in a timely manner and make that publicly known, then it's okay. Because otherwise, if you say I pick somebody at random, also in order for that system to work, I have to check off your name once you get your thing. So if you were my patron and I sent you something, my brain goes, you're checked off, and I don't come back around to you until the list is finished.
Oh, okay. So hypothetically, it could be something where, like, okay, let's say in January you get 10 patrons. Then the first 10 of that, and it's in a monthly period.
Yes.
The first 10,
yes,
you will pick the first 4
that signed up.
4 or 5 that signed up in order of when they signed up
yes.
within that list. And then the next month, let's say you get 20 more subscribers.
Yes.
So the 20 more subscribers will have to wait until
the previous
group of 10.
First come, first serve.
Okay, that's really helpful to know because I was kind of like curious about that because like part of me is like, can I just do it randomly? But then I'm like, that's a little bit like
gambling.
That's gambling. It's
that's like technically gambling.
It's like a loot box, but worse.
Yeah, and I'm against gambling. If you have a lot of money, it's fun, but if you don't, it's a tax on the poor.
Yeah.
Is what that is.
Yeah. I feel that, and it's just you don't want to encourage that because it can be an addiction for folks.
Right,
so,
it's an addiction. Yeah. Also, on the flip side, let's go with that scenario, but let's take off that other 20. If 10 people signed up to be my patrons, right, and I sent out 5 boxes a month, and no one else signed up the next month, I gotta go back to that other 5. So if I had 10 patrons in total, and I had the system that I have now, 5 people would get something. Second month, 5 other people would get something. No other patrons. Third month, those same 5 people get 5 more things. Oh. The system goes whether you like it or not.
Oh.
I do cap it though. So for every certain amount of patrons I have, I send out one more package. Like let's imagine I had 300 patrons right now. I'd be sending out like 7 packages a month.
Okay, so like you kind of group it like for every group of let's say like 20.
Yeah. I try and send out one more package.
Okay, that's good. Okay.
So that way they feel like they're...
Have you done the math to figure out like how much, like?
It's about 40.
40
patrons.
Have you done the math to figure out like how much for that group of 5? Like how much you have coming in from that tier and other tiers? Is it worth it? Still worth it for you? Like, have you done the math to figure out like? Yes. Okay.
It's massively worth it.
Okay.
It's worth it. It's worth it, and I'm not even good at shipping stuff. Like I can make my shipping cheaper, and I just this is easier for me to do it this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what have been like? Okay, so you started. You started Patreon.
I've been watching TikTok. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's fine. You're good. So you started your Patreon somewhat on a whim. what was the learning curve like? Like, do you feel like you...
It was hard, yeah.
Okay, tell me about that.
It was hard because I had no idea. Like, I just started it, but then I realized, like, you can't... There's got to be an equivalent exchange. There has to be an exchange of something.
I love that you're saying that and you're wearing the Full Metal Alchemist shirt. I'm like, and people on YouTube will know this now. Well, now the listeners will know now, too.
Yeah.
But like, oh, perfect. Anyway,
the amount of potters that are also nerds are... I assume less than the amount of potters.
Yeah, but still, we are legion.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Anyway,
when you go to like a pottery convention, there's very clearly like a type of person that gravitates to pottery. And this new generation has been more on the nerd side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so tell me about that learning curve. What was most difficult about it? How long did it take you to kind of feel like you were getting a sense of what you needed to do? And also, have you well, okay, that's sort of a different question, but remind me to come back to this.
Okay.
Have you also like changed your tiers at all as you've gone along? I guess other than the $30 tier, but
right.
Tell me about the difficult shit first.
Well, I thought about changing the $5 tier because everyone signs up for the $5 tier because of course their brain goes, well, I'll get something for cheaper than if I bought something from him.
Yeah.
But that's not true if you read the instructions. The list is long enough to the point where, like, by the time you get something, it's easier to just buy something from me if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. That tier is honestly for somebody who wants some of my private work, my more rare stuff, and also wants to support me. Okay. Something else I've also figured out is that a lot of people kind of treat it like a gym membership, where they sign up and then they just like straight don't go to it.
Yeah,
and then,
I do that a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
It's it's very common. And what often happens is I have like 10 patrons out of the 100 and whatever that I'm making extra content for. I'm like, hey guys, here's a little private blog for you. Here's some words that I want you to know that no one else can see unless they're subscribed. Yeah. 2 people liked it. Hey, here's a whole episode, a private vlog just for you. No one else can see it. Here's the link. And I know they get it, because an email comes with every post. Yeah. The Patreon just does that system automatically. 5 people liked it, and my brain's like, dude, I just spent 3 hours editing a video for you. For 5 people. Yeah. The amount of people that sign up and just want to support me versus the amount of people who actually want the content that Patreon supplies are worlds apart.
That's really interesting and really helpful to know. I know that's something you've
disheartening is also a word that I would use for that.
Yeah. Have you ever considered like reeling any of that in, or is it kind of like, or like how do you knowing that have you navigated how much effort you put into your Patreon, or has it kind of just stayed the same and you just kind of take the hits?
It's kind of stayed the same and I take the hits, but I have made a deal with myself that like no more. Like, I can't give any more time to this because the amount of people that support me is good, but the amount of people that actually use the content is
minimal.
Like, out of all the stuff I just named on that, like, 4 or 5 different tiers, and all the stuff they get, and the bottom tier still gets all the stuff the top tier gets. Yeah. There's 10 people who are utilizing it, you know? So it's...
How many patrons do you have, and like, roughly how does that spread out at each tier?
So, the $5 tier is the most.
Okay, so...
The $2 tier, you know what? I really appreciate the $2 tier. Because they're just like, dude, I just like the information you give me. Yeah. I just want to support you a little bit. Yeah. I buy your stuff, but I'm not looking to get nothing from you. I just want to support you. Yeah. The $5 tier,
they still get the...
Yeah, they still get pictures and things. And the shout out. I put the shout out at the end of the YouTube video too. Yeah. Like, people who support me, thank you. Love you long time. Yeah. But it's the $5 tier is like, I want to do that, but it would be nice to get something too. The $10 tier, I imagine they're like, I want all that other stuff, but what if I want something very specific? The $20 tier, I imagine, is like, I need help. Yeah. The other stuff's cool, but I need help. Yeah. The cool thing about the $20 tier is that I usually address whatever they need in a video. Oh, that's cool. A person will be like, I want you to talk about viscosity in clay and thixotrophy. And I go, okay, sure, I'll make a video about it. And then they're like, oh, answered all my questions, cool. Nice. Which is nice. They're a lot of the inspiration that I get for the next video that I make. Oh, okay. It's very supply and demand. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so about how many patrons do you have in total? Quick side note, before the pandemic, it was like 250.
Oh, wow.
Patrons. Now it's around like 160 something. Okay. 150 something maybe. Okay. And a lot of the people that drop off very rarely drop off for an actual reason. It's just the reason that happened was that their card expired. Or their card got declined so much that they just, like, don't notice. I've had a couple people who were like, dude, you haven't posted in 3 months. What's up with that? And then I go, it says here you have not been a patron since January. And then they go, oh, my card declined. My bank thought it was fraud. And I go, yep, that happens.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Double check your patronage.
Yeah.
Not for me, just in general for Patreons and even OnlyFans. Because, like, your card randomly expires and declines, and those payments stop once you...
Yeah.
If you do want to keep supporting the creators you like.
Okay. So, right now you have about 160
Yeah.
patrons. Pre-pandemic was around 250.
Yeah.
So... About how many are... Because you said most folks are in, like, the $5 tier. Like, what about is, like, the spread of, like... You know, how many folks... And again, it's okay if you don't know exact numbers, but do you have, like, one person in the $30 tier? And
no, I have maybe about 10 or 12 people in the $30 tier. And then I want to say a good 20% of them are in the $2 tier. Okay. And then, like, everyone else is in the $5 tier.
Okay.
Like,
and
people
then,
want stuff.
Okay. So then in the $10 and $20 tier...
It's a very low amount, because what usually happens in the $20 tier is... somebody goes, I need a piece of information. I need private tutoring, essentially.
Yeah.
And then I go, I can give that to you. I'll even make a video about it. And then once they get the information to fix their problem, they go, oh, I'll just go back to the $5 tier.
Oh.
You know, like, I got what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I go, that's my job, is to kind of fix those problems a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a public service at this point, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but you still got to make the money, because actual public services get money from the government to do what they do.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a tax. You know what I mean? Like, you can choose to give me money to help you with your social issues. That sounded bad.
Yeah, you know, that makes sense. Okay, so earlier we had talked about... Or I had asked about, like, what were some of the challenges and what the learning curve was like, and we didn't get to go into detail about that. Tell me more about, like, what the learning curve was like.
It was very learn as you go. It was very like, oh, I'll create like a $1 tier, and then Patreon goes, you know, we charge your patrons extra, so instead of taking money away from you, if you sign up for the $1 tier, we technically charge them like $1.19. And then Patreon was like, so you should make a $2 tier. Don't make a $1 tier. They thought it was more viable.
Okay. Oh yeah. What is the fee for, like? Is it a percentage, or is it like a flat fee across every?
I'm not sure. I want to say it's a flat fee, but I want to say it's a flat fee per patron. But I don't really know.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down to make sure that I
very easily be Googleized.
Okay.
New word, I just made it up.
Googleized? Googleized! Okay.
Googleized. Well, actually, the word for Googleized would just be Google, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna look at Patreon. So when we do part 2 of this episode, I will look that up. You. And yeah.
Patreon made a whole big thing about it. They emailed me, and they were like, hey, just letting you know, for every XYZ, we charge them ABC. So if you have a tier that's $5, you're not getting $5. You're really getting like $4 and 82 cents.
Yeah.
And every time we take those cents, the extra of that 5, and it goes to us to pay our people. Which I get. They made the system. I can't be.
Yeah.
Can't be mad.
They're running the service. So.
They're running the service. Yeah.
Okay. So back to the learning curve. What were some of the things you had the biggest challenge with?
Dude, I used to get my patrons and like take their stuff and wrap it in boxes from my old job, and then like stuff it with packing peanuts after buying materials, and then like walk it over to the USPS or FedEx.
Oh my god!
I was adorable. And now I realize I can just like wrap it up with USPS boxes that I get for free from USPS. They send them to my house, and then I have a delivery system, and the same person that delivers your mail will also pick up your mail if they deliver it to your house. So I legit, as long as you live in a good neighborhood, which for a while I didn't, but now I do, I just put it in front of my house as long as I'm home, so nobody takes it. I can catch them eventually. And then like the mail person just picks it up, takes it away.
Yeah.
I don't have to drive anywhere. The boxes are free. I just pay for shipping and handling. That's it. The rest of it is automated for me, essentially.
Okay. So figuring out a convenient way to ship things was difficult.
It was a huge learning curve. Because I didn't ask for any help. I was just like, box stuff and give it to the post office.
Yeah.
USPS was like, We could do that for you. Mm-hmm. Just package it and stay home, dude.
Nah.
No,
Well, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you ever, I'm trying to think.
Seen a wolf cry at the blue full moon?
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Yes! I love that movie. That's actually, well, I mean, it's really problematic.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's a good animation.
Good animation.
That story was fake, though.
Hella messed up.
Fake.
Hella messed up. Okay, so how are we doing on time?
Got about 2 minutes.
About 2 minutes. Okay. Is there, well, I mean, I guess 2 minutes isn't really a lot of time. Do you want to restart it? Or not? I don't know.
I can't restart. There's no more time left on the...
Oh,
That's what I mean. I only have that amount of time. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So before you run out of space, any last comments that you want to share about your setting up your Patreon?
Patreon's cool. I will say, but if you're thinking about starting one, I had a few friends that would start one because I started one and they thought it was a good idea, but they wouldn't they wouldn't offer their patrons anything. I forgot their name, and I say they because they're non-binary. But I forgot their name, but they started a Patreon, and then they just, straight up didn't do anything with it. But they were super pissed that people weren't signing up for their stuff. They were like, why aren't people giving me money? Like, they're giving you money, and I don't understand. Nobody wants to support me. Everybody hates me. And I was like, you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
You scribble in your notepad, and you show it once a month, and then you're like, support me right now, because I want coffee on a daily basis. And then...
Is this someone who does... art professionally?
No, they just legitimately. That's what I mean. Is they?
Oh, okay.
I'm not trying to talk down on them, but also they would scribble in their stuff and be like, "I want to be an artist." And some people supported them, but they were close friends and family. There was no service they gave.
Oh, okay. So they didn't really have the following to sort of and give a.
It's more that they didn't have the following. It's also more they didn't put work into the following they wanted. They just thought they set up the system. If I build it, they will come.
No, yeah.
Not really.
Overall, do you feel are we also again? Okay. Also, in general, do you feel like right now you have a good balance between the time you put into your Patreon and what you get back out of Patreon?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
How much?
But it took so long to build.
Okay. Okay. How much do you make every month from your Patreon? Tell me. We can't close the edit out. We close the thing on this. Tell me before we run out. Oh my God, Dante, seriously.
It's like a G.
Okay. Alright, and scene.
It's about to turn on right now.
Oh.
Wow, it's going to 19. That's crazy.
Oh my God.
I do love it though, because there it goes.
Oh my God, perfect. Oh my God.